As we begin celebrating Genshin Impact's anniversary, I want to reflect on the reason all us gullible sods have stuck around despite all the slime balloons, and keep coming back day after day. Start to finish, this game is fueled by all the incredible moments supplied by, well, everyone, really. Between all the backstories, the interpersonal relationships, and the fucking juicy cinematography, Genshin has a character that anyone can fall in love with. And this holds especially true for the boys. This is one of, if not the only gacha I can think of where the boys are just as beloved and sought after as the ladies. I mean, just look at the official data for the most used characters in Abyss. 4 out of the top 5 are fellas. These dudes run the show, so I say we crack open a cold one with the boys, we take a moment to give each and every one of them some big love, and we celebrate all the reasons they've made us fall for them head over heels. Albedo, you have one of the most interesting backstories out of the entire cast. The huge intrigue between your relationship with Rheindoter and Alice is enough to get anyone sucked into the Genshin lore rabbit hole. You're an adorable big bro to Klee, and your kit is so much fun to use. So many characters can do some insanely flashy stuff using your elevator, and honestly, riding it up never gets old. We might have to wait another 72 years for your banner rerun, but when that day comes, it'll be more than worth it. Make way, everyone! The king of support and the best sleeper 5-star in the game has arrived. Bennett, you are a god among men. Most characters in this game would die to offer even an ounce of the utility you bring to the table. But you're more than just an OP healer, buffer, and DPS. You're a friend. When the people in your life talk down to you or do you wrong, you still treat them with love and compassion. And while I wish you would stick up for yourself a bit more, I can't help but admire how pure your heart is. Did you know? There's an old saying in Teyvat that anyone who ticks off an Adeptus receives nothing but cabbages in their treasure chests.
But if you tick off an Adeptus, the only thing you'll probably ever find in treasure chests is cabbages. Blech.
This is obviously real and true as we've seen it happen in real time, and it means that Benny has canonically squared up against Xiao and lived to tell the tale. He's a friend and a badass. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to walk along the edge of this precarious cliff. I'm sure nothing bad will come out of it. Ajax, Tartaglia, Childe, I've got something to tell you. The amount of charisma pouring from every tender yet well-defined toy-selling orifice in your body has won me over professionally and romantically. You're one of my favorite characters in the story. From the moment you appear, to the high-octane boss fight in the Golden House, to the incredible clash against the Ruined Guards in your character quest. I don't care who you are. This cutscene right here is just art. Plus, we both have the honor of being played like a fiddle by Zhongli. Face it, we're bound by the red string of fate. You're also my #1 favorite character to play as, rightfully earned because of how sick your stance change mechanic really is. You're a certified psychopath, so if you want to rip me apart limb by limb, by all means, please do so. Please, begging you. 10 out of 10, would simp again, and would watch your voice actor's descent into madness.
Hey, girly.
Hey, girly.
Hey, girly. I'm expecting to see you this weekend when I deliver.
Yeah.
Chongyun, you one-punch exorcist, an absolute Giga Chad waiting in disguise, suppressed by a popsicle or 20, you bring a whole new meaning to the phrase suffering from success. You have one of the craziest melt nukes in the entire game. Plus, you're the cornerstone of the best free-to-play freeze comp. The fact that that comp also needs your canon best friend, Xingqiu, alongside you to complete it is all the sweeter. You boys have the most wholesome relationship on this earth, and I really hope we get to see even more interactions between the two of you.
Going up.
All the naysayers who say you belong in the trash because your skill interferes with a couple main DPS units clearly don't understand how to build proper comps. I will defend you to the ends of the earth, because you deserve it. Diluc, you're the grumpy old man we all can't help but love. I know anytime you're involved with a quest, things are gonna heat up. Literally, especially in the cutscenes. God damn! Your fight choreography is always a treat to watch. You were one of the very first 5 stars I ever pulled, part of the most insane RNG I've ever experienced. Quick flex incoming, where I got 2 Ventis and you in the same 10 pull. In a way, I almost feel like you and Venti, with that insane moment, are the reason I've become a degenerate gacha player. You're still my main pyro DPS to this day, because just like Mondstadt itself, I know I can always rely on Fantasy Batman to have my back. And hey, you'll be able to handle that Snezhnaya vodka one of these days, big man. I got full faith. Ooh, Kaeya, the Sauce Man Supreme. I love all the sass you bring to the table, especially with how much you harass Diluc or spur on Childe to channel her inner psychopath like the chaotic uncle you were born to be. Just like Albedo, your origins are so intriguing. How did you come from Conria, a nation that was destroyed 500 years ago? What's under the eye patch? Oh wait, actually we do know the answer to that one. Despite all the bad stuff that's happened to you over the years, you've still held on to a level of charm and charisma that most of us would kill for. Even though your kit's pretty simple, you've remained one of the best cryo batteries and cryo appliers in the game since its release, and that's no small feat considering the competition. You have a great spot on so many teams, and you'll always have a great spot in my heart. Alright, so let me lay it down to you straight. Beidou is my wife. Kazuha is our son. Fischl is just kind of hanging out for some reason, and we all have a happy family. This is canon, this is actual, this is, dare I say, factual. Kazuha, I love everything about you. It started with your amazing maple leaf design and kick-ass character demo, and it stayed with the dope gameplay. There's nothing more satisfying on this earth than dodging enemies by leaping over them, pulling them close, and then juggling the hell out of them while buffing everyone else. And don't even get me started on that sheath animation. I was genuinely moved by your backstory with your best friend. It takes a lot of guts to leave everything behind for what you believe in, even if you had already become accustomed to the wanderer lifestyle before then. You've got some impeccable comedic timing.
Can't you spare a word or two to congratulate our up-and-coming champion?
All right. Let me think how to aptly phrase these words of praise. You fought well.
But you also know when to ramp up the serious face when you need to get shit done. You're as flexible and adaptive as the very wind itself. Probably one of the best banner characters to invest in due to how well you work with so many different teams. All the best support units are immune to power creep, and you are no exception. So even if you were a walking sack of dirt with a double jump, I'd still be in love with you. You're a great addition to the game, and I can't wait to see you in your upcoming character quest. Or hang out? Because we're totally getting one, right, Mihoyo? Mihoyo, I'm literally asking you for one thing. Just don't rob him from me, please. Razor, my baby boy. My dude just can't catch a break. Everyone else finds their visions from reading a picture book, or punching a snake like a badass, or finding some internal resolve that doesn't involve their whole family getting murdered in front of them. Must be nice, says Razor. You have such a fun playstyle. There aren't many characters that revolve around big dick physical DPS, let alone characters that can increase their own attack speed by such a huge amount. It's nice that you're a physical carry too, because most enemies in the game won't be immune or at least resist your damage. The ones that do still can get hit by your lightning, so you're really covered on all bases. You're that kind of boy that everyone can't help but love. You've got the whole Favonia squad on their knees for you, and for good reason. I pray to God that one day we meet Varka and see him, Razor, and Lisa all together. The world would not be ready for the amount of wholesomeness packed into one meeting. Hey, the Traveler! The main man himself! Aether, I see a lot of folks say that they prefer your sister's design over yours. And to be fair, Lumine is pretty cute, but you're still equally as valid. It's a shame that you don't speak up more in cutscenes, because you bring so much sass and humor into your conversations with Paimon and other NPCs, especially in your voice lines menu.
Speaking of Fischl, she also claims to be a visitor from another world. We're similar in that way. We even bring a pet along with us.
Pat? Now wait just a minute here.
But her raven, Oz, he looks cool and is polite to boot. More importantly, he can both scout and fight. Very useful indeed. Maybe I should make arrangements with Fischl to trade companions once in a while. For, say, a week or two at a time.
Hey! Doesn't Paimon get a say in this?
I've never laughed harder than seeing you proclaim,
I fear not for the plight of pigeons,
to a poor, unsuspecting Timmy. Or that entire bullying sequence with Paimon towards the guy in the cage on Jinren Island. Side note, if you haven't reached that point yet, when you get to Jinren Island and when you go to free that guy in the cage, keep talking to him before you release him. You will not be disappointed. Anyway, as is, Aether, you're a great character with an insanely interesting setup for the large, overarching story. People also sleep on your moveset. You've got some good stuff going on for you. You arguably have the best pairing with Zhongli thanks to how many geo-constructs you can make at any given time, and now you're one of the best supports to pair with boys like Beidou who need the elemental recharge. You've also got an amazing voice actor leading the charge for all things Aether related. The Twitter block saga between Zach and Koi Dao, the voice actor for Albedo, is the stuff of legends.
I feel like Albedo has won a lot of people's hearts since his release, probably because he's a little cutie.
And you know what, Koi? I think that
What?
I think that there's another reason why Albedo's won a lot of people's hearts.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's because maybe you're a little cutie. You ever think about that?
End of the day, Aether, you're like the best dandelion wine. You'll only grow sweeter with time, and as it currently stands, you're already pretty sweet to begin with. Oh, Venti, everyone's favorite drunk grandpa. Of all the Archons we've currently met, you embody the best G energy. You see, we have Gaslight, we have Gatekeep, and most importantly, we have Girl Boss. You're a badass to the core, whether it's chucking entire mountains through the sheer power of wind alone, or spouting one-liners even as you have your essence of godhood ripped out from you. You're like a great parent. You try to let your kids sort their problems with one another out without acting like a helicopter, but you still know when to swoop in when things grow too out of control. You're not perfect. The Lawrence clan situation got a little too out of control, and we still don't know how you were involved in the destruction of Conria. But I'd rather you have some intrigue and flaws and behave like an actual person rather than being some unrealistic perfect being. You're an absolute monster in battle too, single-handedly enabling Ganyu's permafreeze comp and carrying all of us 1.0 Andes through Abyss for the better part of 6 months. And boys, let's be real, he still carries us even to this day. The amount of utility your burst brings to the table by clumping enemies together is something that can never be power crept. Plus, you recharge so much energy and do a stupid amount of damage on your own, especially with the latest buffs to Elemental Mastery. In every way, you are a top dog, and even as a god stripped of their power, I think that's still pretty fitting. Do not talk to me. Me angry. By God, how does this guy do it? Oh hey, thanks for stopping by. I proudly present my dramatic reading of Precious Adeptus. This precious, pubescent, contentious Adeptus, with a selfless presence who craves refreshments, bends and dances for our incestuous nexus. The omnipresent apprentice who makes amendments for the tenets of descendants. Precious Adeptus, the embodiment of transcendence. Jesus, I'm so white. Xiao, you are incredible. One of the most hyped up characters since the game's initial beta all the way back in 2019, you've proven yourself to be more than worth the hype. The absolute king of AoE, this boy doesn't just have big dick DPS. He has like
super omega gargantuan colossal dick DPS.
on paper, he seems simple enough. use burst, spam plunge, eat hash brown, rinse repeat. But when you actually play him, you realize how insanely mechanically demanding it is to manage a perfect uptime on his burst, along with all the other ways to incorporate his launches and stingers. I swear to God, the Xiao mains have written entire novels on how to optimize that moveset, and I promise you, learning all those intricacies is some of the most fun you can have in this game. He had an entire update dedicated to him, the Lantern Rite Festival of 1.3, which culminates in one of the best optional cutscenes in the entire game. Oh, man, I just want to protect that smile with everything in my body. And anyone who doesn't is a certified psychopath. This game is amazing at surprising you with these little intimate moments around every corner. Honestly, the reason why I love Xiao so much is because I got to share one of my favorites, this scene, with him. Make way, everybody! The true Hydro God has arrived! Xingqiu, you've got a little bit of something for everyone. A big book nerd, a softie for kung fu, and a penchant for messing with your friends, all traits I look for in any upstanding citizen. I especially love how dismissive you get when you're deep in a book. Nothing's worse than people constantly interrupting you in the middle of a hype moment in a story. I feel your pain, brother. You can't have a conversation about the best characters in Genshin without Xingqiu coming up. He literally enables every single top DPS in this game to perform at their peaks.
Without you, Xingqiu, they're nothing. Dirt beneath your feet.
Sorry. You offer everything you could want from a support: damage mitigation, healing, constant elemental applications, and huge off-field numbers to boot. If you look at the database that keeps track of the most used characters for Spiral Abyss 36 star clears, which currently is the hardest content in the game, you'll see him alongside Bennett as the best of the best. You prove that the only difference between 4 and 5 stars isn't viability or usefulness, but simply the amount of moolah it takes to have them in the party to begin with. Keep on keeping on, King. And maybe get a better haircut while you're at it. I'm just saying. This is the positivity video, but like, yikes, brother. We have truly saved the best for last. Zhongli, you are the embodiment of every amazing thing about this game. You're my #1 favorite character in the story, with the most intriguing and morally gray actions I've seen from anyone in the cast. There's so much to admire. Your relationship with Guizhong and the lasting impact she made on your personality, from your newfound love of glaze lilies to the very alias you use on the streets. Your history with Azhdaha and the threat of erosion that threatens to eat away at the very essence of yourself, contained by giving up your godhood and walking the streets of the city you once helped to create, desperately trying to hold on to history through the verbal storytellers of the harbor, but orchestrating a grand scheme to give up your godhood for the inevitable day your erosion goes too far and renders you a monster. Your involvement in the Archon War, widely feared as the god of war before you were ever known as the god of contracts. This is still just scratching the surface. You were there with Conria's destruction but won't tell us what happened. Anyone could spend dozens of hours diving into your lore and your place in Tevat's rich history. And believe me, I have, because it's so fucking good. Let's not forget the gameplay either. You are the full embodiment of what Geo brings to the table. You could literally only have that shield and still be considered the best unit in the game. It's that overpowered. I'll never forget the way my jaw dropped watching your character demo when I saw your burst. So you're telling me this dude drops a goddamn meteor, that meteor petrifies, and he times it to the bass drop of the song?
I will have order.
Side note, does anybody else go back after they see a new character demo and watch Zhongli's just to compare it against the new one? I swear to God, his is the best one so far. It's so fucking good. Top that off with the best vocal performance in the game.
To cleanse the land and defend our safe harbor. That was the first contract in Liyue. And now, the final contract too has been set in stone.
My ovaries are bursting.
If I could only ever pull for a single character in this game, if I could only ever recommend a new player to get one character in this game, it would be you, Zhongli. And there you have it. All the fellas in Genshin are incredible. These boys all offer something great to the bigger picture of Genshin. So do me a favor and drop some love about your favorite boy too. And hey, if you liked the video, hitting it with a like and even subscribing really does a lot to help me out. Next time, we'll be taking a trip over to Mondstadt to give some love to all the Mondstadt ladies. Thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you all next time.